In today's book review, we will focus on the last entry in Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars Trilogy, Blue Mars. Since Blue Mars is the conclusion of the series, and if you have not done it already, I highly recommend to watch the previous videos discussing the first two novels, Red Mars and Green Mars. Furthermore, any viewers should be aware that there might be some spoilers with regards to these two novels, although there will be specific spoiler warnings throughout the video, as is customary on this channel. The novel Blue Mars was published in 1996 and is roughly 750 pages long. It continues the story of Green Mars onwards, from 2027 to 2212, thus covering the longest time span of the trilogy. It directly takes off from the last chapter of its preceding novel. Hence, beyond this point of the summary, there will be spoilers regarding the events of Red Mars and Green Mars, as well as minor spoilers for Blue Mars, so beware. The different Martian factions were able to remove the shackles of the Terran authorities during the revolution that was described at the end of Green Mars. Now that the goal which galvanized the disparate dissident factions has been achieved, old conflicts with regards to the speed and extent of terraformation, the societal and economic models, as well as the political system resurface once more. However, this time, after long debates and negotiations, it is possible to establish a long-lasting compromise based on a new Martian constitution. The reconciliation of Anne and Sax, who were at opposing ideological poles regarding the terraformation of the Red Planet since the first novel, Red Mars, symbolizes the healing within the different Martian groups. The new relationship between a now independent Mars and Earth, which is in chaos and turmoil caused by the collapse of the ice sheet in western Antarctica and subsequent flooding of coastal areas, is another important aspect of Blue Mars. Specifically, the question of migration is a point of contention, as there are fears that accelerated migratory movements to Mars will lead to overpopulation and the repetition of mistakes that were made on Earth. Furthermore, technological advances in propulsion make most parts of the solar system, the inner planets, and as far out as to the icy giants, accessible to humanity for exploration, resource extraction, and colonization. A balance between the new smaller outposts and settlements, a more self-confident and self-reliant Mars, and Earth, which despite the natural disasters is still the eminent power in the solar system, has to be found. Several diplomatic missions sent out by the new Martian government try to achieve this difficult goal. In terms of critical reception, Blue Mars was nominated for the BSFA Award in 1996, as well as the Campbell and Clark Awards in 1997. Like Green Mars, Blue Mars was able to win the Hugo and Locus Awards, also in 1997. As of the making of this video, Blue Mars is rated at 3.94 and 3.89 stars on Goodreads and a Library Thing, respectively. Furthermore, on Amazon it scores 4.4 stars, based on roughly 900 ratings. Hence, it is scored virtually the same as Green Mars by the aggregated reviews. With regards to the science fiction hardness, Blue Mars remains at a similar level as Green Mars. As mentioned in the previous book review of Green Mars, especially the pace of terraforming, among other aspects, keep the last two books of the trilogy just below the sci-fi hardness of Diamond. Blue Mars keeps up with the exceptional world building of the previous novels and is able to expand the locations that we are able to witness through the point of view characters to numerous places outside of the Red Planet. These include several different cities on Earth, as well as new established colonies throughout the wider solar system. Therefore, the scope of the story, at least from a spatial perspective, noticeably increases in comparison to Green Mars and especially Red Mars. One could even argue that the expanded world of Blue Mars could easily act as the prologue to further stories in a similar vein as the Expanse series, if we specifically look at the setting and tensions between the different human factions. In terms of originality and the list of characters, Blue Mars pretty much follows the patterns of the first two novels. Most point-of-view characters, with the exception of one, were already featured in Green Mars, if not even as early as Red Mars itself. These veteran point-of-view characters experience the most pronounced character development in Blue Mars, which is exemplified by Anne and Sax finally reconciling with each other. But also other characters have their arcs, either related to overcoming past trauma or the meaning of home. Ultimately, even after all the struggles, conflicts and catastrophes that were depicted throughout the Mars Trilogy, Blue Mars ends on a positive note with an optimistic future for an interplanetary humanity lying ahead. On the one hand, some of the shortcomings of the previous two novels, such as the character development, the at times myopic focus just on Mars itself, or the unbelievable preparation and foresight of individual characters, are compensated well by the story of Blue Mars. On the other hand, the pace of the story in Blue Mars slows down noticeably towards the end, and it sometimes can feel more like an epilogue rather than the culmination of the entire trilogy. Nevertheless, Blue Mars is a worthy ending to the Mars Trilogy and should therefore be on the top of the reading list of anyone who liked and enjoyed the previous two novels.